I'm Chris Hansen, right now on Crime Watch Daily from here in New York. A seemingly ordinary suburban home becomes a house of horrors.
It was just so sickening.
A chilling triple homicide.
There was blood all over the walls. There was a little handprint as if a little boy was being kind of dragged along.
An angelic 5-year-old boy.
How old are you today?
Sleeping over at his grandparents'.
He always wanted to hang out with Grandma.
All three are savagely murdered. The evidence, grotesque.
Adult diapers, the 2 long blonde women's wigs, prosthetic breasts.
Who would commit such an evil crime? As our Anna Garcia uncovers, it's a madman with an unbelievable motive.
This is a very tangled relationship.
He had let simmer for years.
Then an All-American high school football star goes off to his freshman year in college and comes home with a different person.
It was very weird because he's never been like that around me.
And then he vanishes into thin air.
It all starts here with 3 bizarre 911 calls.
Did Logan Schindelman run away, or is this foul play? Crime Watch Daily's Jason Matera goes searching for clues.
Don't take it as my accusing you of anything.
Right now,
Andrea Isom, sir, with Crime Watch Daily.
Jason Matera with Crime Watch Daily.
this
I'm Elizabeth. I'm here with Crime Watch.
I'm Michelle from Crime Watch Daily.
Anna Garcia from Crime Watch.
is Crime Watch Daily.
Stay off my property.
We'll find you again. We always do.
Welcome to Crime Watch Daily. I'm Chris Hansen. You're watching night vision video shot from a helicopter as cops track down a very dangerous suspect hiding in the thick brush. Who is he, and how did we get to this point? Our Anna Garcia rewinds to the start.
Inside this quaint house, nestled on a quiet street, a scene so grisly.
It was just so sickening.
So gruesome, it defies comprehension.
No one will believe this could happen. And yet it did.
A murder case that gripped a nation.
The entire country has reacted with horror.
Headlines around the world.
How would you describe this crime?
Very sad. Kind of makes you lose your faith in the good of humanity.
Jennifer O'Brien, a busy mom with 3 young boys, went to pick up her 5-year-old son Nathan from his grandparents' house.
He always wanted to hang out with Grandma or sleep over at Grandma's house, and they had a lot of fun together.
But when Jennifer arrives, she stumbles upon an odd scene. The front door is already open. As she walks in, she's hit first with the smell of death. And then, pools of blood everywhere, and no sign of her parents or son.
There was blood all over the beds, on the walls, on the floor. There were bloody footprints in the hallway. There was drag marks.
And the most heartbreaking sight, imprinted on a wall.
There was a little handprint on the way out, as if a little boy was being kind of dragged along and had put his hand against the wall to brace himself.
Bill Graveland of the Canadian Press says a hysterical Jennifer calls the cops, telling them, "I think my family has been killed."
She must have been terrified.
They told her to stay in her car with the door locked because they were afraid that there potentially might be someone still in the house.
Cops burst into the gruesome scene and feverishly search the house. But no bodies are found. The grandparents and little Nathan are missing.
I think police were hoping that they had been kidnapped and were being held somewhere.
At the scene, there is not one shred of DNA found, not one fingerprint from a potential killer. Cops immediately issue an Amber Alert in hopes of locating the family.
I know Grandma's holding you so tightly right now and taking care of you, and they are doing everything in their power to keep you safe.
What did police first think?
A lot of people thought it was some sort of a custody deal, and perhaps the grandparents had grabbed the little guy and taken off.
Hundreds of police search relentlessly, but with no sign of Nathan and his grandparents, they eventually circled back to the scene of the massacre, holding on to any sliver of hope to locate the 5-year-old alive.
They'd hoped that maybe he saw the violence and had hidden somewhere. So they went through all the closets, under the beds, anywhere that anyone could hide. He wasn't there.
Nathan O'Brien, an adorable, blonde, mop-topped boy, the spirited middle child of 3 brothers in the close-knit O'Brien clan.
This is like fairy tale paradise. Yeah, fairy tale. Well, like every fairy tale imaginable.
He loved superheroes.
Nathan, how old are you today?
5.
Made friends wherever he went.
He'd go and knock on other kids' doors. We didn't know the parents, and get the kids all coming out to play, even though he didn't know them. And all of them turned out to be his best friends.
And was the apple of his grandparents' eyes.
My mom would show up at the door. Nathan would run, literally run to her and hug her and love her, and they were just so bonded.
The grandparents, Alvin and Kathryn Liknes, were the glue that held the family together.
My mom was my best friend, and she was just a very caring, loving mother who made a home for all of us. My dad was an entrepreneur who was always trying to start up a business and be successful, and he was.
Alvin and Kathy were about to start a new chapter in their lives, retirement. On the day they disappeared, they were having an estate sale, downsizing after buying a new home in Edmonton.
They were planning on moving the next week. I mean, they were getting rid of all their extra belongings. They were going to spend their winters down in Mazatlan. They'd bought a condo down there.
But the vision of the couple enjoying their golden years, basking in the warm Mexican sun, quickly turned cold and dark.
The police went on for a couple of weeks where they were still hoping that they might find them held somewhere, and that perhaps the injuries they'd sustained in the home weren't fatal.
But as the days ticked by, that hope dwindled.
They searched for a couple of weeks looking for them and never found any bodies.
And it became very obvious this was no abduction, more like a triple murder, with a violent killer still on the loose.
Police had a number of news conferences, finally told us that a violent assault had happened in the home.
Up next, cops go on the hunt and soon discover chilling clues at a rural farm.
Pictures of men and women being restrained, perhaps killed, wearing adult diapers.
Macabre details straight out of a horror movie. Will the scary stash lead cops to the bodies of Nathan and his grandparents?
A woman heads over to her parents' house to pick up her 5-year-old son. However, when she arrives, they're all gone. And when she walks around inside the house, she makes a frightening discovery. Blood is everywhere. Anna Garcia is back now with more.
You gotta watch where you're going. Stand up.
Nathan O'Brien, a beautiful 5-year-old boy with the face of an angel. Seen here on home video, celebrating his birthday in his favorite superhero costume.
Nathan, how old are you today?
5.
But would his 5th birthday be his last? Nathan has gone missing, and so have his grandparents. The trio disappeared after Nathan had a sleepover at their house. All that was left? A home awash in blood and too many questions.
I think police were hoping that they had been kidnapped and were being held somewhere.
Nathan, I need you to hear my voice right now, and I need you to know that Mommy and Daddy love you more than anything in this world. We know you are our superhero, and I just need you to stay strong, and we are going to see you.
An Amber Alert doesn't yield results, but within days, over 1,300 tips pour in. So many that it crashed the police department's computer system. Cops analyze hundreds of hours of surveillance tape. Then something suspicious catches their eye.
They went to all of these homes in the neighborhood, and they found this green, like mid-70s Ford F-150 truck. Very distinctive looking.
Police release a flyer with a picture of the green pickup spotted on the grandparents' street the night they disappeared. And it wasn't long before cops get a call from a woman who said she recognized the truck. It belonged to her brother.
So the sister turned him in.
She did.
The owner of that truck is a man named Doug Garland, and police now want to talk to him. They nab him at a traffic stop and hold him in jail on a previous false identity charge.
He was always very quiet and didn't reveal anything to the police.
Meanwhile, Canadian Mounties stormed the 40-acre farm where Garland lives with his elderly parents on an emergency hostage rescue. But no one was found, either alive or dead. But there was something. One of the first things they notice, a burn barrel smoldering near the greenhouse. Inside the tank, nothing but ash.
There's no blood, there's no sign of any evidence.
Back at police headquarters, Garland is released on bail and given strict instructions not to go back to the farm. In the meantime, cops secure a warrant and scour every inch of the sprawling property. What they find is bone-chilling. Hidden away in basement rafters, police find a computer hard drive.
And that's when all the House of Horrors stuff starts coming out.
On that hard drive, reams of painstaking research on gruesome and violent topics.
He downloaded a bunch of things. Things like attack your victims at like 3 o'clock in the morning, that the element of surprise, painful ways to torture.
Cops say the hard drive was also littered with images of his alleged sexual obsessions.
What's the fetish part?
Well, he had quite a fetish about adult diapers. And there were a number of pictures of men and women being restrained, perhaps killed, wearing adult diapers.
Every inch of the place was searched, including the basement office with a library of the macabre.
Garland also had some books. Anything there?
Yes. One was a book on how to poison people. Another one was called The Joy of Killing.
And also in the basement, a cross-dresser's fantasy.
The set of prosthetic breasts, the 2 long blonde women's wigs that were on these mannequin heads.
Racks of women's clothing in Garland's size and a vast collection of shoes.
He had how many pairs of shoes?
89 pairs, men and women, and in his size.
And curiously, in the closet, an empty shoebox. But missing from that box, a pair of size 13 Dr. Scholl tennis shoes. Then, cops seized boxes filled with weapons, handcuffs, some in a child's size, hacksaw blades, leather straps, bone saws, knives, guns, and a straitjacket. But what investigators don't find? Bodies.
I mean, the police went on their hands and knees, elbow to elbow, going through the grass, through that entire acreage.
But of all the disturbing clues, one stood out, the smoldering burn barrel. Cops had noticed it during the first search of the farm. This time, investigators take a closer look.
They went through everything, sifting. Kind of like gold mining almost, where they go layer by layer by layer.
Panning, yeah.
Yeah.
And sifting through the ashes, they find a baby tooth.
They found the burnt flesh, a lot of the bone fragments in the embers of the burning barrel.
Was Doug Garland a sadistic killer? And why would he want to murder a precious child and his grandparents?
Because of their past history.
Not long after collecting evidence, cops soon learn that Garland is no stranger to Alvin and Kathryn Liknes. They actually had a layered and complex relationship that went back years.
So this is a very tangled relationship.
It was just a very strange set of circumstances on how they actually all became acquainted.
Garland's sister Patty, the one who reported the truck, is married to Liknes' son. But the detail that sparked cops' interest, Alvin, a successful entrepreneur, employed Garland years before.
Patty's husband had suggested that when Alvin Liknes was looking for someone to work with, that Doug would be possibly a good choice because, you know, he had some education and he was fairly handy, and he wasn't doing anything.
The two men worked on a pump invention together, but the project never went anywhere, and Liknes eventually fired Garland.
They had worked together on building a pump for the oil and gas sector. But the brains was Alvin Liknes, and it was his invention. It never made a penny. It never got used, but apparently Doug Garland was angry and bitter over it for years.
Bitter enough for murder? While mountains of incriminating evidence are piling up and more intel on Garland's history with the couple, cops are keeping a close eye on the 57-year-old, following his every move. Here he is caught on surveillance camera at an auto parts store buying what looks like circular saw blades. Police are especially interested in what he's wearing. Look closely. On his feet, the same Dr. Scholl's missing from the shoebox. Do they match blood-soaked prints found at the grandparents' home?
They actually have a shoe database federally in Canada. They matched it to a Dr. Scholl's running shoe, and they were able to trace it to a certain style.
Next up, police make their move.
The police were looking for him.
But Doug Garland gives cops the slip. A mysterious triple murder of an angelic 5-year-old boy and his grandparents leads cops to a rural farm where sickening clues point in the direction of a depraved madman.
He sounds like the creepy guy in the basement who's still living with his parents.
You know, and they always say highly intelligent, which he obviously was, a loner, no friends.
Even though no bodies are ever found, with 1,400 pieces of the most grotesque evidence imaginable, cops have enough to make their move. But so did the alleged killer.
Did Doug go on the run? Was he a fugitive at any time?
He was.
Investigators had Doug Garland under surveillance after their first search of his property. Then 2 weeks after Nathan and his grandparents disappear, cops catch Garland trying to sneak back on the farm where he lived.
The belief was he was trying to get rid of maybe a little more evidence.
The sadist didn't get far, as you can see on this police infrared camera.
They cornered him because the helicopter could see him, and he finally surrendered. They told him, you know, don't make this evening any worse than it already is, and he came out and laid down on the grass, and they handcuffed him.
The man who police believed brutally murdered Kathy and Alvin Liknes and their beloved grandson Nathan finally gets what's coming to him.
There's so much evidence here that a movie of the week would not buy it.
Despite that, Garland pleaded not guilty to 3 murder charges. The sensational 5-week-long trial transfixed a spellbound nation.
The community was just gripped by this.
The public was watching this like I've never seen them watch another criminal trial, right across the country.
In opening statements, prosecutors told the 3-women, 9-man jury that Garland held a years-long grudge against Alvin Liknes over a patent for a pump.
He had let simmer for years, and then, years later, he finally acted on it.
On the day they disappeared, Alvin and Kathy were having an estate sale since they were planning to move and wanted to downsize. So Garland put his sordid plan into action.
So if he was going to get them, he had to get them soon before they left.
Exactly.
The first step, breaking into the couple's home.
It appeared Mr. Garland had drilled a hole in one of the locks.
The murderous timeline unfolded from there. Once in the house, Garland preyed on his victims. According to his meticulous and obsessive research, 3 a.m. was the best time to attack.
Mr. Garland went into Alvin Liknes' bedroom and bludgeoned him. Then he went to the next room where Kathy Liknes was sleeping with her grandson.
And was Nathan, the little 5-year-old, just collateral damage, or do you think he was also a target.
I don't believe he was a target, but he decided that he didn't want to leave any witnesses.
Forensic experts believe the family was alive when Garland dragged them from the home and shoved them in the truck.
They got pictures of what appeared to be a white sheet in the back of the truck, and police believe that's where the bodies of the three were.
Shockingly, even with all the bloodshed, none of Garland's DNA was ever detected at the house.
How do you think it's possible that Doug Garland was able to do so much damage in that house, yet not leave a shred of DNA?
Well, he did a lot of research on how to not leave DNA evidence. There were a number of these white suits that the forensic people wear, and you see them on TV shows. They believe that he was wearing those.
Then Garland drove about 20 miles to his parents' rural farm, where unspeakable horrors awaited. Nathan and his grandparents' DNA were found on instruments of torture, like meat hooks, bone saws, and knives.
Where was the meat hook found, and what evidence was on that?
They found Kathy Liknes' DNA on that. They found Alvin Liknes and Nathan O'Brien's DNA on the meat saw. And they found DNA from all three victims on the outside of a pair of rubber boots.
But even with mountains of blood and fragment evidence, no bodies were ever found.
There was nobody that saw Doug Garland kill them, and they don't even have a cause of death on these people.
Incredibly, Garland's elderly mother took the stand against her son, testifying that she didn't hear him leave home the morning the three disappeared.
She actually had found out they were missing, mentioned it to him, and he says, "I don't want to talk about that." Well, he already knew.
Perhaps one of the most disturbing images presented at trial, pictures captured completely by chance by a mapping plane which flew over Garland's property the day after the family disappeared.
The fellow who took the photos, he can see what appears to be two headless torsos of adults. Looks like they're laying face down, wearing diapers. And a small figure in the grass next to them, which is, they believe, was Nathan O'Brien, right by the burning barrel.
But in this case, the dead speak volumes.
There were no bodies, only tiny little pieces.
The only proof of their existence on the planet buried in the ashes left behind in the burn barrel.
That is where they found one small piece of flesh, which could have belonged to Alvin Liknes. Bone fragments were from a 5-year-old boy. So he burned everybody, apparently. Chopped them up, it looks like, and then burned the bodies. Just cremated them.
While the gruesome details of the heinous crimes unfold in court, Doug Garland appeared unfazed.
He sat through the first round of hearings and the second, taking notes. We never heard a denial. We never heard a "I'm sorry."
None of the victims' families took the stand, but Nathan's dad's written words reverberated through the courtroom.
Rod O'Brien, when he did a victim impact statement, basically said that I didn't even have enough of my son to bury. There was not enough left of him.
After weeks of traumatizing testimony and about 10 hours of deliberation, Doug Garland is convicted of first-degree murder in all 3 deaths.
They've lost Kathy, they've lost Alvin, and they've lost Nathan. So this decision doesn't change that. They still have to grieve.
Words cannot describe the pain that Jennifer and Rod O'Brien endure. Though they sat down with Crime Watch Daily, they declined to speak about any details of the brutal murders.
Nathan's spirit certainly lives on. It lives on in this community.
They are coping day to day raising their 2 boys and by creating the Nathan O'Brien Children's Foundation, funded in part by a $1 million donation from an anonymous donor.
Nathan loves sports, so we have an annual decathlon where we have children come out and learn how to play hockey. He would have loved to be part of that, right?
Garland received 3 consecutive life terms for his heinous crimes. For Jennifer O'Brien, that sentence won't bring her son and parents back, but says she gets relief from an army of people standing beside her.
Every time somebody says something with a warm, kind word or kind heart, you know, and sometimes they feel uncomfortable because they don't want to say it to us because they're scared they're going to get us upset. And I just say, thank you. Thank you for saying that to us, and thank you for praying for us, and thank you for showing us that you care, because it means the absolute world.
One of the things Nathan loved, nighttime talks with his dad at bedtime. And one conversation will forever linger in Rod's memory.
Nathan had started asking me at nighttime what heaven was like, which is kind of a strange question coming from a 5-year-old. And say, well, you can fly around in heaven like a superhero, because Nathan loved superheroes. There's no night times, you can play all the time. He goes, well, I'm going to welcome you into heaven, Dad. You guys.
We're back now with more Crime Watch Daily, and right now we've got a mystery on the side of the freeway. Did several eyewitnesses see a young man running from his old life, or did they stumble upon a crime scene? For the details, let's head out west to our Jason Matera.
First of all, he's beautiful. Beautiful smile.
A high kilowatt smile and a magnetic personality.
Everyone liked him.
But now, no one can find him.
This case doesn't make much sense.
Logan Schindelman has vanished.
Who benefits from Logan's disappearance?
Was he the victim of foul play or lost, not wanting to be found?
There was a lot of tension at home. He didn't want to be there.
And we're asking the tough questions.
When I'm going to ask this, but don't take it as my accusing you of anything.
Logan Schindelman's high school days in Tumwater, Washington were filled with friends, fun, and football.
He's a good athlete too. Yeah, he's really good. He started defensive back in high school for 2 years actually. Took it to state twice.
His athletic ability, all-American good looks, and easygoing attitude brought lots of friends.
I don't know of anyone that ever disliked him.
But according to his grandmother, who didn't initially return our phone calls, but did answer the door when we showed up.
If you didn't mind, we'd love to ask you some questions about Logan.
The good times Logan had in high school didn't follow him after graduation.
He changed a lot. He had a couple things happen right after high school that made him really aware of racism that he hadn't really thought about as much. And he had decided that his friends weren't really his friends anymore.
Ready for a fresh start, Logan Schindelman enrolled at Washington State University, more than 300 miles from home.
His first year at college, I think, turned out to be very unpleasant for him. And I don't think he had a whole lot of friends there.
And his close friends from high school, he'd all but forgotten.
I'd contacted him a bunch of times after we graduated. I'd message him on Facebook. He would read them, but would never reply.
After his freshman year at college and still unsure what he wanted to do with his life, Logan returned to Tumwater to live with his grandmother and half-sister. But friends say he wasn't the same happy-go-lucky Logan.
He came into my work and brought an application in, and I was just like, hey, like, good to see you, like, how are you doing? And he didn't say much. He kind of got like nervous when I saw him. It was very weird.
For the next year, Logan kept busy working odd jobs around town. Then one Thursday morning in May, his grandma was getting ready for work when Logan said something she thought was a bit bizarre.
He was really nervous, and he said he'd had an epiphany, and he was driving around. And I said, well, talk to me tonight when I got back from home.
But that talk and Logan's epiphany didn't transpire.
And of course, I wish I could have said, sit down, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Ginny Gibo would never see him again.
The next day, I pinged his phone, and it pinged near his mom's house. So I thought, well, he went over there, was visiting with her, and so that was okay.
It wasn't okay. Logan wasn't with his mother in nearby Olympia. In fact, detectives believe he went in the opposite direction.
And we have activity on his phone going down towards I-5, heading south. And then the phone starts heading back up north. And then it heads south again and stops where we recovered the vehicle.
When the 19-year-old hadn't come home by Monday, his grandma filed a missing persons report. Police ran the plates on his car and discovered it had been impounded.
It all starts here with 3 bizarre 911 calls. A car is drifting across lanes of a busy highway in Olympia, Washington. However, the callers notice something strange. There's no one in the vehicle.
We find out the vehicle's been recovered already. And then we get the story of some witnesses saying that they saw a subject running out from the vehicle. And for it to be abandoned on the interstate and hitting a Jersey barrier, that's weird as well.
What do you mean abandoned on the interstate?
One of the witnesses said the vehicle had veered towards the center lane and hit the barrier and stopped.
It was a truck driver heading north on I-5 who claims he saw someone jump right out of the moving vehicle.
And he sees somebody jump out of the passenger side of the vehicle.
The passenger side of the vehicle?
Right.
And what was the description given of this individual?
Initially it said a white male, but basically a male, and then ran towards the woods off the interstate.
Police searched a 2-mile radius on those woods by air and on the ground, but never found any sign of what might have been Logan. One possible sighting of a naked teen later that night brings even more intrigue to the case.
What about this black guy who was seen without any clothes wandering around?
We thought that might have been Logan as well. And so they did initiate a search using dogs and didn't locate anything.
You weren't able to identify who that was. Could have been Logan, maybe not.
Could have been Logan, could have been anybody.
Inside the teen's abandoned car, cops found his wallet, ID, and cell phone, plus something that leads to even more unanswered questions.
One of the curious things was in the center console of the vehicle were some bags of like grocery bags, which kind of led us to believe that if somebody was on the driver's side going over to the passenger side, those bags would have been knocked down. So a theory we have that there might have been 2 people and the truck driver only saw 1 person.
And they can't explain other strange occurrences either.
What's so bizarre is the check-in at Facebook.
It's very bizarre.
An unexplainable digital clue in the case came 1 week after Logan vanished.
He did a check-in on his Facebook page at the Olympia Regional Airport.
If he's checking in via his own Facebook page, and you're saying no one else had the password?
Right.
That you know of?
That we know of.
So either someone is trying to throw law enforcement off, or in fact, this is indeed Logan, right?
Correct.
And nearly a year after he disappeared, there's been no sign of Logan Schindelman.
I have no reason to believe he's been killed. I don't have any reason to believe he's alive.
But his family might just have a few reasons.
Who benefits from Logan's disappearance?
Up next, police question a possible person of interest.
He was investigated and submitted to a polygraph.
And some wonder, could there be a possible reason he doesn't want to be found?
We were told you were trying to keep Logan away from the black side of his family.
Now back to the disappearance of a teen in Washington State. Let's head back to our Jason Matera.
Chris, was he trying to disappear or did someone make him disappear? Those are the questions that police and the family of 19-year-old Logan Schindelman are trying to answer.
What happened to Logan Schindelman?
I don't know if I'll ever do.
You don't have a day when you forget about him or you don't think about him.
The boy with the big smile vanished without a trace.
So Logan's vehicle is in the middle of the interstate, abandoned.
Correct.
Leaving detectives baffled and his family bitterly divided.
We were told that you were trying to keep Logan away from the black side of his family.
Logan Schindelman was raised by his grandmother, Ginny Gibo, here in Tumwater, Washington. Logan returned home to live with his grandma after just 1 year in college.
He was kind of at a loss for what he was going to do with his life.
And according to her, he started to smoke marijuana.
I know he did a lot of smoking pot, and I wondered sometimes if that had caused a little bit of paranoia.
Ginny believes her grandson was paranoid the morning he told her he had an epiphany. She told him that they'd talk that afternoon. But Logan simply vanished. The next day, his car was abandoned in the middle of Interstate 5. Detectives are even more perplexed after finding Logan's wallet, ID, and cell phone inside his convertible.
If Logan's going to run away on his own, is he going to leave his cell phone in his wallet?
Normally you would say no, that people don't do that.
If Logan didn't run away on his own, who'd want to get rid of him?
You have one part of the family saying there's somebody responsible, and the other side of the family that is saying, you know, nobody's responsible.
Logan's Uncle Mike worked in law enforcement for years, and there was one person he thought detectives should investigate.
If it were in the home, would be the tension and the hostility that's going on with his sister and her boyfriend.
Uncle Mike claims when Logan returned from college, life at his grandmother's home had become very difficult.
He was very upset about the boyfriend living in the home.
Logan's half-sister had moved in her boyfriend, and according to the uncle, he and Logan didn't get along.
We know that at some point there were fights, physical fights.
We asked Logan's grandma about Uncle Mike's allegations.
They didn't particularly like each other, but they just kind of avoided each other.
Detective Frawley questioned the live-in boyfriend, who agreed to take a polygraph test.
I asked him if he was responsible for the disappearance of Logan, and I asked him if he knew who was responsible for the disappearance of Logan. And he answered no to both questions, and my opinion was on it that he was not showing any deception when I asked those questions.
Polygraphs aren't perfect. There's the possibility that he could pass a polygraph somehow without being truthful.
Cops have never charged the boyfriend in connection with Logan's disappearance. Now, another theory detectives have considered is whether Logan's alleged drug use may have gotten him into trouble.
We don't know if he maybe owed people money, or if he might have gotten some bad drugs, or maybe done some other drugs. That's one of the theories.
Problem is, there's no evidence that a crime has even been committed.
You know, he could very well just be out there right now and want to be left alone.
But why would Logan want to be left alone? His Aunt Tina has a theory that only makes the mystery deepen further.
Maybe he saw this as the only way to get out of this conflict, this dysfunctional family of his.
Before going away to college, Logan secretly met one side of his family for the very first time, the black side. Tina Crary says it was an emotional visit.
I showed him a picture of his grandfather, my older brother, and he stared at it. He said, he goes, it feels good to see someone that looks like me.
She believes Logan was desperate to learn more about his background.
He wanted some answers, and he wasn't getting them at home.
Tina Crary claims Logan didn't want his grandmother to know about their visit.
He said, if she finds out that I came here, she's going to be really mad.
We were told that you were trying to keep Logan away from the black side of his family.
Yeah, I don't think that's true either. They made no effort to get out and see him. And I had pretty much not talked to his father, his grandfather, in years and years and years, so there was just no connection. I wasn't actively trying to keep him away.
No one knows if Logan met up with a sinister fate, or if he is running from bitter family strife.
He's welcome to come back anytime without an explanation, and I think he knows that.
But until more clues surface, his family is left only with speculation and desperate pleas.
If you don't want to be here, that's fine, but get a hold of us. Let us know that you're okay.
And if you need to stay away in order to feel secure, I wish you well. And I send you off love